Excellent. Hello, people. Hope you are well. Hope your lives are treating you well. We are gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons today. I have my lovely and awesome and amazingly talented and such good storytelling cast with me. Um, they are all around. You can see them there. And we are just going to get started. We've got a lot of stuff. We ended last session with a couple of simultaneous cliffhangers for some heavy reveals and some lore drops. So let's see what all comes out and is uncovered this session. I don't even know what it'll be. So as a start, let's do beliefs and all that good stuff. So as has been the case lately, Kazan is joining us slightly later due to family obligations. Okay, but she sent me her belief. I'm not going to bother reading it because it's not quite in like belief structure, but whatever, it's close enough. Excellent. Then let's just move on. Sarah, playing Thomas. Do you have a belief for us?
Yes, I do. I have it right here on this very professional stationery.
Yes, because none of my notes are on, scratch pieces of paper that are around.
Exactly. So it's kind of based on some conversations that he had with those around him, both his daughter and his patron during the course of the last game, regarding kind of being the group having been in a more reactionary stance with Blackice and, just kind of like dealing with things as they come up rather than possibly being more proactive. So my belief is, Lois, the chain is right. We and our people are less safe when we are on the defensive. Despite my reluctance to take more lives, I will stop it. Fuck you. Sorry. Despite my reluctance to take more lives, I will stop being precious about the well-being of assassins and undermine the Ashen One via his followers starting now.
Excellent. I love it. It represents a huge character turning point inside of a belief that gives you action-oriented things to accomplish. This is secretly a Burning Wheel game, as we all know. And that is a fantastic belief, and I am excited to see it play out. Thank you very much, Sarah. On the other side of me, we have Faye, who's playing Juniper. Faye playing Juniper. Do you have a belief for us?
Yes, my belief is going to be the same.
Okay.
Which last time it was that she was going to make sure that she finds a way to keep Stepwise safe from the Ashen One, even if that means she has to, do something that would be inconvenient for Juno. Which, yeah, I think she didn't really make too many steps so far, and I think she might be a little derailed by what she just discovered last week, but that's still going to stay her belief.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes when we get like a cliffhanger moment or a major reveal that changes some things, we can look to our beliefs to see what our goals are in those moments and sort of help guide us, our characters, through them.
Yeah, I think she has two potential beliefs that were kind of at war with each other in this one, but I chose to keep the one from last week.
Beautiful. Excellent. And last but not least, that brings us to the fantastic jetpack one.
Yeah. I think I've got one.
Okay.
So with the assistance of Thomas's patron, I will do my best to match myself and the rest of my comrades up with powerful entities to aid us in our endeavors to sort of usurp Magli, Blackice, and his conspirators.
Well, you don't think small. I like Sarah's face right now. Sarah, do you have thoughts about this?
I've got a few.
I'm
Excellent.
stoked.
Let's go skydiving. Oh, hey, can I hold your parachute though?
Oh, I
gonna be
love
good.
it.
I don't know. It was the only one I could think of, and it's like, well, that was pretty important to how we ended last session, and I kind of think that that's the way that we're headed, anyways.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's certainly a way you can be headed. So, we will see what that amounts to in play today. Okay. It's raining outside.
Oh
Not
no,
uncommon.
I froze. Sorry.
No worries. It's raining outside. Not uncommon in Gelestra, not uncommon in Race C, not uncommon in the Shimmering Seas, but it is worth noting. It's one of those rains where the droplets feel like they are forever long. When you look outside, you don't see specks, but you see full-on lines running down the sky. And it's through one of these droplets, we find ourselves falling into the city of Racy, and we get images, flashes of things, just a tableau, a scene, just to remind us where we are. We see sort of violence, something sanitized because we're not there, but some sort of bullying or something that's going on in the city, and we see more and more that the city is on the edge of a powder keg, that tension is high, that people are reacting poorly to situations, that no one feels the support that they want to feel in the world that they are in right now. Many people feel abandoned. We look on these scenes and find a house. It's a house that's a nice house, one that we've seen before, and we follow the camera through the window. And sitting in this house is Sawin. He's sitting there at a table, his cards before him, idly shuffling them or doing a quick reading of some sort. And sitting across from him is a tall, dark-skinned person with black hair and golden eyes staring at him. The camera zooms in on Algernon's face just for a second, and you see flickering behind him a sort of light that seems to come from nowhere. Just for a second, it appears and then disappears to nothing. You have questions.
I suppose I do. Did I notice the light that appeared and then disappeared?
Yes, it was not that subtle.
Has that been happening on and off?
It's the first time you've seen it.
What was that light behind you?
Just Siva checking in on me.
Does she do that often?
She worries.
Like you worry for her?
Yes, much the same. Do not you worry for your friends?
I do, but not all of them have the same talents as Shiva does.
Yes. Well, your friends, I'm sure, worry for you as well.
Well, I suppose that sorry, Jess is trying to like put the cogs in double time.
Mhm.
So I suppose that worry is the reason why you're, for lack of a better term, fixated on the creature of rot and bone.
Yes. It is a destructive force, and one which constantly seeks out my friend.
Are you equipped to deal with it? After speaking with our mutual friend, it appears, or it seems to me, that dealing with that creature is going to take a lot more firepower than what I think even you may possess, or your friend.
You are not wrong. I am not positioned to defeat it. Not permanently. But I am positioned to slow it down, to hold it in place, to prevent its growth, and to prevent the seeds of what it may start here on Isai.
I'm loath to say this because I would hate to be right in this instance, but I think that its presence is definitely here in Racy, and I think while it has not contacted me directly, I think I know who might be currently on speaking terms with it.
You believe it has made a pact then?
I only know what my eyes saw, and the individual in question took a lot of damage in a fight and was still able to walk away despite bleeding profusely and surviving a door being blown apart right next to them. So, yeah. I think it is here.
Unfortunately, there are numerous creatures who could respond as you have said. Anything in particular make you think that this is it?
I think I'm not sure how common it is, given or considering that up until recently I haven't dealt much with. Okay, over the table question: is calling it occult magic the right term I'm looking for as a player, or?
I don't think you as a player, you as a character, know what the right term would be.
Okay.
You could ask him.
Yeah. So I don't know the right way to phrase it. I don't have the vocabulary at this point in time, but my friend has a gift for healing, and they this other person took that gift and has reversed it.
Corrupted them. corrupted their power, not to them. I apologize.
Yes, that sounds about right. But I don't have, like I said, the right vocabulary for this set of actions. This type of magic. It's new to me.
It's new to most. Certainly most on Isaim.
But if the entity in question has made a business arrangement with this particular person, then I fear, or I think we have our work cut out for us in that it's going to take a lot of doing, and it's been made very clear that this person wishes to not be trifled with. And has made it very clear through the channels of information that I have that anyone standing in their way will be wiped out. And they will not be missed.
They will be missed.
No,
I know what you mean, but I worry that your phrasing leads down a darker path. All who die are missed.
I meant that the person doing the dispatching is not going to
Balk or doubt themselves, yes, of course.
Or overlook anybody who may so much as oppose even or provide even the slightest opposition to their goal. That's all that I meant.
So what is your intention?
I had an idea, but I do not know if it is the wisest idea that I've ever had. But it seems like it is the course of action that will put us at least on equal footing. Like you have your bond with Siva.
No, you presume much. I would not bond with Siba. I would not have anything bond with her if I could. She is my friend.
My mistake.
You seek others.
Ones that are like our mutual friend and are agreeable to uniting against the common threat until it is dealt with.
I will not obviously tell you what to do. That is not my place, and I've already overstepped that bound once. But I will suggest that perhaps attracting more attention to Isaim may not be in your best interest long term. Though, of course, you may do as you wish.
Then I don't really know then how we're supposed to deal with the problem at hand if not going that route. We certainly, my friends and I, our common friend, certainly don't have the ability to go to toe with that person again. And even if we did go toe to toe with them again, I'm not sure that any of us will walk away. And that's concerning because that means that all of Racy will be in trouble at that point. There's not many of us left who were set out to do, or that there aren't many of us left that had a common goal. We had numbers, but they have been greatly diminished. So
increase your numbers.
you make it sound so simple.
It's not simple.
Sound as if we could just walk up to anybody on the street and ask.
Can't you?
No, we can't do that. That's foolish.
Mm. So instead you turn outward towards extreme powers, things that you barely understand.
Do you understand them? Surely you understand something because you've made friends with one.
2 or 3 in my day. I understand a little, but I would not presume to say that I know much. And I certainly know not to overstate my knowledge of these creatures.
Well, you know more than I do.
True.
If I told you who it was that I think may have struck a deal, what are you going to do with that information?
I don't know. Its bond with a mortal is something that both gives it power and vulnerability. Certainly the death of that mortal would be something that would hold it back for a time. Being consumed by decay is not something that can happen easily. I might try to stop him, but I certainly wouldn't help him. But if I don't think I can handle it, if I think that it puts Siva in danger, then I will leave with Siva. Again.
I mean, What resources do you have at your disposal?
Not insurmountable, but a sizable degree of magic. A fair bit of knowledge, and the skill to apply it skillfully, and friendship with some things that have great power. But I will warn you, the most important thing to me, in case I haven't made this clear, is Siba. As long as she is safe, that is what matters. She is everything, as far as I'm concerned.
How are you at teaching?
You ask a question that unfortunately doesn't have a great answer. I've taught before. Some would say that I was a great teacher. Others would say that my teaching unleashed great evil. You wish to learn?
If you teach me what you know, I'll tell you who the person is. That way you and Siba can stay far away, and I won't have to go for the fireball option.
The fireball option. Oh, I like the way you speak, Solin. I am sorry that I ruined any chance of friendship we might have. And I apologize. My position in the universe is such that I am bound, my actions, my words are bound by certain principles, certain rules, and breaking those would be unwise. I am not in a position to simply give you all of my information. I honestly believe that it's possible that if you learned all the information that I have at my disposal at this given moment, that your head would simply explode.
I doubt it.
Well,
Considering I went from agnostic man to knowing what I know now about the universe, and my head is still firmly upon my shoulders, I think that says a lot.
perhaps you are correct. Still, there are rules.
I can
think-
abide by rules.
I think a series of questions are in order. What seems a fair number of questions to you? True answers only. If I cannot answer for reasons, then a new question may be asked.
So just yes or no questions.
No. But questions that have an answer.
5.
It is a deal. And I think with that, we're going to pause that scene so that Jess can think about the 5 questions before we return to it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. We're going to pause that scene so we can think about the 5 questions before we return to it.
Oh my god.
Okay. Let's go check in very briefly with Thomas. Thomas, you had an errand you wanted to have occur that was very, very fast before I jump over to Sarah. Is that correct? To Juniper?
Oh, okay. I was gonna say Thomas to me.
Sorry.
Wait, what? Who am I? Sorry. Yes.
That's the
Is
second
this
time
gonna?
I've done that in 2 weeks.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm sorry.
I'm getting
that I-
worse. I was better before. Okay, sorry. Okay. Sarah playing Thomas, please. Tell me what you wanted to have happen.
Are you referring to what I messaged about earlier?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So basically that evening, Thomas is going to kind of a late night situation. He's going to make sure that he's got as many things to do on his desk as he can. He's going to try to I don't know that he would actually have a lot of incriminating correspondence because they don't write down a lot of what they do. But he's just kind of going through everything, reorganizing, making sure that there's nothing that he has that would potentially link this secret squirrel to anything that they're doing. And while that's happening, he's going to ask Mercury to go and keep an eye on that warehouse. And
warehouse that you guys are supposed to investigate?
Yep, that one.
Excellent. Yeah, Mercury does. I will tell you what he finds because actually I need you to roll a stealth check for Mercury.
Yay. Oh my god, my mouse is freaking out. And his little pseudo dragon stats. Yeah. Where is it? I know he's a stealthy boy. Okay. So it's going to be that plus 5.
20. Nice. Excellent. Okay. Well, I think I'll just give you the information now, if that's okay. You get it in a couple hours, but I'm just gonna do it now.
Yeah, he'd be like popping in and out of Mercury's senses, just checking in.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So Mercury goes there, and for a good chunk of the night, it's dead. But
oh god, we're too late.
But at 2 a.m., a boat docks near it, which has no sail, and you see a large number of burly, strong-looking people you recognize as being members of your daughter's crew, carrying large numbers of weapons and storing them in the warehouse.
Excellent.
Okay. Nice
So much
job.
to work with.
Cool. Let's go check in with Juniper and Faye.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing okay.
I'm really sorry that I keep calling you Sarah.
That's okay. That's
Okay.
fine. We are interchangeable. No, I'm kidding.
We're just Earth compatible.
Yeah. All right. So
So our camera leaves Mercury as he sees this, getting confirmation or new information, depending on how you look at things, about what's going on down at the docks at the warehouse. And I think it traces its winding path through the city and brings us back to back to our dear Mela Stepwise's house. Before it enters the house through a window, it pauses and looks up, and you see through the trees, Thawthru and Tikaru are two moons, floating, both full in their vision. And it enters through a window and sees Juniper. Juniper, what's your current state? As Alan was just revealed to you that he is actually Malachind, speaks to you.
Yeah, so you know how she was all like, let's not wake Stepwise? Well, she had to stop herself from just kind of like screeching, holy shit, kind of thing. So very fluffy, full Studio Ghibli style fluff going on here. And kind of it's gonna look at the door like, should I bring Kaz in? I should probably bring Kaz in, but she's too freaked out. And she looks at him, and for a second the shot kind of fades, and she goes, I defended your books to you. You told me those books were dull, and I was telling you all about how exciting they were and how interesting they were, and all of a sudden oh my god.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not saying that the ideas are wrong, but you must admit that some of them are written in quite a dry style.
Well, yeah, but no offense. Oh no. I also critiqued your work.
I mean, I was young.
How young? Is it rude to ask?
No, it's fine. Well, I guess I wrote that around 800 years ago.
Yeah,
so
that's a question.
That would make me. I was 37 when I wrote them.
And how come you're still? Is that rude to ask?
I think that we honestly, Lady Juniper, I think that we have gone so far past common decorum that there's possibly no guidebook
yeah,
to suggest how we should behave in this circumstance.
Okay. All right then.
I appreciate you checking and asking with my feelings, and I will do my best to check in and ask about your feelings as we go as well. But please also speak up if I push too far or go beyond or make you uncomfortable with my knowledge.
So did you know then about the gods? And
no.
So that was still hypothetical, or do you?
Well, I mean, there were things that I was studying rituals that had been practiced and occurred over the past years. You know, things that people had learned, things that people knew over time, that were dying away because they were unnecessary, because the gods were bound, of course, or gone, or whatever the absence is. It's difficult for me to fully remember those early years. It's been a long time since I wrote the book, but you know, it was it was definitely an attempt to codify things, and I was curious about these things, so I investigated them as much as you are. In fact, very like.
And you're so you're not Elven?
No.
No.
Well, certainly not anymore.
Were you Elven? Did you stop at some point?
I think that's a fair way of putting it, yeah.
Did you make a deal with something?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Are they still... Then she just kind of like looks around like can't really see them.
Oh, well, you must understand that the nature of my deal was one that I don't fully even... Well, some... These deals can work in different ways, right? And how you relate to your, I guess, you might call them patron, is different. But for me, we are one and the same now. I can't tell where I end and they begin, and they can't tell where they end and I begin. We are one voice.
Oh,
So
that's
depending on how you look at it, I'm either 837 years old or somewhere around 14,000 years old.
that's a lot.
Yes, but I don't have all the memories. It's a whole thing about engaging in the world and how you relate to power and all that stuff. It's not something I have total control over.
Right. And what okay, I have a lot of questions and they're all just kind of merging in my head right now. But if I'm why would you want to help me find one of these creatures?
Well, you called for help.
You mean like asked you yesterday?
No. Psionically, you called for help.
You heard that yesterday.
No, sorry, let me rephrase. Before we met, you called for help. I was the one that heard.
I don't remember calling for help.
You were in this room. You had my book. You seemed frustrated by it.
Oh. I didn't know it was that simple.
Well, it's not always that simple, but I was keeping an eye on the Shimmering Seas at the time, so you know, I happen to hear. I'm also less distant than some of my uh I guess the appropriate word would be siblings. We're not really family, but I am less distant than some of them because of my position here, you know, as a, well, sort of a half breed, I guess, as it were, you know, someone stuck between worlds.
Are many people like that? Or is that
No,
something that's rare?
very rare. As far as um, I know, I am relatively close to unique in this location, if not totally unique.
And this was something you sought out, or were you a conduit? Are you a conduit?
I mean, listen, I was younger and I was ambitious and I did things that I'm not super proud of. I'm not like
Mhm.
super excited to tell you the details of this because it may make you less likely to trust me. Um,
Uh,
and I do understand if that is the case in this, but I promise you that I mean you no harm, and I in fact mean to give you all the assistance that I can.
right. But
You
so
need the answer.
you chose this then instead of this being something that came out from being a conduit?
Yes, definitely chose this. It was a it, the it's hard to distinguish my life from its life anymore. It's all sort of the same, but certainly Malachind, if you will, the worst thing that he did in his life led to this uh, bonding, as
Oh,
it were. It's hard for me to fully regret it because it's who I am. If you've ever had a negative experience or traumatic experience that's shaped your personality heavily, you'll understand a little bit about what this is. But I was my own negative experience. Um,
ouch.
yes.
Well, that's probably why I was warned about your book.
Yes. Um, you know, the details aren't in there, but if you read closely and deduce the things, then you can discover the path that I chose to take.
Yeah. Um I had a little bit of a feeling just based on how it was this book was literally forbidden from me for a while, you know.
Yes, it's most often It's often forbidden, particularly from intelligent students.
Thank you.
Uh, Just a thing. You'd be shocked how often it is banned at schools. In fact, the Toan Empire actually burned most copies of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ugh, honestly, I kind of take it as a badge of honor, pissing off those fools.
Oh, well, I know. Um, the there's rumor that the royalty of there's still a part of the royal family that's still alive right now.
Certainly not impossible. Families breed, and that royal family, with their restrictions about what could and could not become emperor/empress, they bred a lot, and a lot of different people have distant lines relating to it to some degree or another. It'd be surprising if there was a direct descendant, of course, but I guess not impossible.
Because I think I might have run into someone who possibly made a deal like that. And I'm speaking over the table. Juno and Sawin were both together when they kind of realized that. I think they were talking to Stepwise. Yeah,
definitely.
So she doesn't know everything that Sawin knows, but But I think I might have run into someone who made some kind of a deal with something, or might have either been a conduit or turned himself into. Well, they seem to be necrotic in nature, and
I guess I could go attempt to confirm this for you.
I would rather not.
Okay.
They're incredibly powerful. Like this man is. He turned a healer's power into necrotic power. And she's gonna just kind of like not wiggle her toe beans.
Mm-hmm.
She tried to heal me, and just the life left me immediately. And
I'm sorry that you've gone through that. Are you okay? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. I mean, I can't feel anything in the paw, but I'll work on that, I guess. But I am a little nervous about this. This is partly why I've been a little anxious to get some answers. I admit I wasn't entirely honest when I was talking to you about what I wanted before.
Understandable, considering the. If you will forgive me my dishonesty, I will forgive you yours.
Thank you. Well, I want to be able to. It's true. I want to, ferret out the people who are watching us from the shadows and see through, lies that have been told to us or are being told, and and it would be nice to, maybe find people who might have lost at some point. But the problem is if this person has bound themselves to something incredibly powerful and dangerous and antithetical to healing, or if a conduit were to be taken over by something against their will, is there a way that you can sever that even temporarily? Now this might be very rude because you are literally the opposite of severing that, but would it be possible? Did you ever consider reversing it?
Well, the truth of the matter is that the easiest way to reverse some sort of bonding, depending on the power level of the creature in question, is death.
But what if you don't want to kill that?
Yes, I just thought I'd start with just like that's the easiest way of doing things.
Yeah.
I am aware of a ritual that has a chance. Similar to one of your own spells having a chance of succeeding. Sometimes you sometimes the creature turns into a rabbit because you cast polymorph, and other times it resists. All that
Yeah.
that usual stuff. So it has a chance of succeeding. And I know ways to amplify that chance with Earth's blood and bone metal and objects of such. But it is just a chance, and if it doesn't work, it will never work.
Right.
And unfortunately, it is a binding of the will, and many of these creatures have great will.
But if the worst were to happen, you could still try. Is there?
Oh, I could not try at all.
I mean, you in the general sense. Sorry.
Yes. Oh, certainly. Yes, you absolutely could try.
Okay. I'm sure that's not in the book that you brought, though.
No. I would not trust anything written with that ritual.
Would it be possible for us to discuss this ritual?
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Yeah.
You're essentially asking him to teach you how to kill him.
Yup. No, I'm not trying to kill him. Okay, what am I rolling? Persuasion.
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 Yeah.
Why did I say perception? Let's see what that was.
Natural 20. Okay.
And the other one was a natural 1.
Mm-hmm. Okay. It I guess considering you're friends with a conduit.
I am. I'm very close with them. I don't want something to happen and lose them either one way or another.
So this would be to save them.
Yes, potentially. But nothing bad has happened yet. But I know the dangers. And I'm willing to do this for them. Even if it's even if it's dangerous.
He reaches out and touches your shoulder. Just like reaching down, like squeezes it in a friendly way. And says, Juniper, you are a far better person than Malakind was. Yes, I will teach this to you.
Thank you. And I won't misuse it.
I believe that. Otherwise, I promise you I would not be teaching it to you.
Yes, of course. Okay. Would we be doing this now, or was there?
No, let's do it. I should instruct you.
Okay. And with the moon, so you had wanted to do something.
Well, we can hold off if need be. I mean, this is no. The moons and the stars have a certain degree of prominence and power, right? As I'm sure you're familiar with the power of the stars and all that. You can travel through them and on them and go other places further away and all that. And of course, they affect the bodies of people here on Isaim. But the prominence of the moons tonight means that rituals that are enacted close to this time are of substantially more power, if we're talking about bonding rituals.
Right.
when Thothru and Tikoru are both most heavily bonded to Isaim. That is when well, any bonding ritual will be most powerful. But if so, I was under the presumption that you wanted to. When I was under the presumption that you were looking to bond with something, I presumed that tonight would be the best night from a ritualistic perspective, as I'm sure you understand. But really,
Gotcha.
any time within a week is still going to be pretty darn powerful.
Gotcha. That's good to know. Which might explain why something did reach out to me yesterday, believe it or not.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, not entirely sure how honest it was being, but they seemed very young, didn't even have a name.
Yes, creatures without names. Sometimes you are so young that you have not yet earned a name, and sometimes you are so old that names are meaningless to you.
I think it was the other way around, and I might have accidentally named them.
Great, excellent. I don't think there's any real harm in naming them, but I will certainly say when both moons being full at the same time, that is a annual occurrence at best, as I'm sure you know. But when that happens, the need for a conduit is lessened slightly.
Right.
But
okay.
Still.
Yeah. Well, in that case, actually, oh no, I'll ask about the quill later. Because it's still sitting there, I think.
Oh yeah, do you want to just glance at it?
Yeah, I'm gonna just look over at the quill and be like, I put something through when they came. There was like a ripple in reality, and I didn't want to walk through because they kept asking me to come in and take them out, and you don't know, it could have been that creature of rotten bone that someone was talking about. So, but there's a thing, and she's gonna look over at her quill.
Yeah. So your quill is now like covered in where it was covered in magic before. Now it's covered in sort of this very pretty, like reflects the lights in a lot of different colors, metal.
Oh.
And it looks very like when like the light from your candle shines on it, instead of getting like light reflected off it, you get like greens and purples and blues reflected off of it.
That's new.
Yeah. Do you want to roll a Arcana check?
Sure, yes, I would.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hello, Arcana. 19.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your quill is now made of bone metal.
Oh, is that normal?
You're asking the
I'm
DM?
asking him.
Okay, sorry.
is that normal for? By the way, for you to go through a void in reality and come out with bone metal?
Oh, well, that's how bone metal is typically generated. It's rather difficult to make. You need a portal that is made from the other side, not from this side, and then
Right.
a physical object must be dipped in it, almost like you dip an apple in caramel, and then the apple comes back and you leave it, and it will turn into a source of bone metal. But the portals must be formed from the other side, so it makes it difficult to do. This is quite precious, that you have this.
I know. I was about to say, well, there's the bone metal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that in the desk. And yeah, she's gonna go back to the sit down on the bed, because it's a bed and then there's the desk chair. At this point, we're at the and she's going to say, so about this ritual, how is it normally done?
Yeah, and I think he walks you through a good chunk of the ritual there. I think I'm gonna omit some of the details, so that we can see them later in play as a dramatic reveal and all that good stuff. But he walks you through the ritual. But I do want you to roll an Arcana check.
Yes.
This is a deductive check right now.
10.
Okay. Well, then you don't get any secrets of the ritual. You get the ritual, and we can add it to your spellbook. I'll add it to your spellbook slightly later, but you don't get a secret about it.
Okay. Because that's usually a thing.
Yes. Because that's normally a thing.
Okay. And she's so if you were after they've talked a little bit, so if you were summoned here, where were you before? What's the nature of the being?
Oh, no, I'm physical. I'm real. You can touch me. I'm not from the magical. I'm not from the other side of the covering or anything like that.
Okay. But so you actually are a professor in town, and
no, all those were I was sent here to help you. Why do you think I was always in the coffee shop that you were?
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that.
Yes, I am here to help you. You were my sole purpose for being here.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, okay. But yeah, that will definitely help. Thank you for doing that. For teaching me. Will you still be here after this?
Yes, I like coffee and tea. I love tea, so I'll probably be in the tea shop there. And there's several books there that I haven't read, So I just when you have no need of me, I'm never bored. I sit there and read. Don't.
Okay. Well, I think wow. Sorry, I'm like, I should have thought about some things first before this one, because I think the main thing was the ritual that Gina needed. So she is
Plus, it's nice to just stretch my arms and my body. I didn't get to do that for a good portion of my 800 years.
What were you doing before?
Oh, I was I was watching mostly.
Watching
the Shimmering Seas.
like, just kind of walking around?
No, from a distance.
Okay. So do you know anything about, hold on, I might want to get Kaz for this, but would you know anything about what happened with the explosion at the Grand Accord?
No, the people who did that, whoever they were, I guess I know something. They were wise enough to purposefully blind us who were watching.
Right.
So it is not merely not something that a normal group would do. They had further interests, deeper interests. Actually, I need to speak with Kazan. Would you mind if we brought her in?
Yeah, no, I wanted her to know anyways. So she's gonna get up and like Kaz.
Oh, hey.
Kaz, a lot's happened. He wrote my book. Come in.
Oh, okay.
And she's just gonna drag her in and be like, Kazan, Malakind, this is not alum. It's this book that I've been carrying
actually,
around?
Sorry, not to correct you, but my name was Malakind. I actually prefer alum. Malakind just sounds very menacing, and I'm not.
Okay, well, alum. Meet alum again. Okay. He wrote this book, and is it okay if I tell her?
Sure, of course. Anything I told you is information that you now have. You can use that as you see fit.
Okay, because it's important that she knows. Kaz, he's either 800 or did you say 14,000?
Yes, about that.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What are you? Sorry, that was very rude. I don't know how else to say it.
No, we've agreed that I think we've fallen into a pattern here where we just generally apologize for asking rude questions and then ask them anyway, and that's fine because we don't know what's rude or not. If that's okay with you, I will presume the same. Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes, I guess right now what you would call me as I am a watcher. I watch part of the world and I keep tabs on it and I make notes and pass those on to people who I think will find them useful and helpful. I try to guide the world as best I can, but I am but a tiny cog in a large machine, as it were. Does that answer your question?
Yes, I think. Do you just wondering, do you know of any other watchers?
Yes,
Just around?
and specifically one that has a. Are you ready to hear it though?
Yeah, I mean, no, but I would like to hear it.
um, Nazma loves you very much,
Oh.
and she is watching you.
Oh. I need to sit down, I think.
Okay, and Gina's gonna just pull the chair over for Cass.
Yeah, and I think Alan slash Malakind. Hold on one second, and he like runs downstairs,
Wait,
and then comes back up with like 3 cups of tea.
that was very quick.
Very quickly. Yes, remind me. I have a instant pot of water boiling spell.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's quite useful. But sorry, and he pours 3 cups of tea.
Juno's very invested in this. Okay.
I'm sorry to break in, but he is like boiling water would be too hot for tea, so he is actually steaming them at the correct temperature,
My
right?
Darling, I love you.
Yes.
It's important that
He is
that
a
tea in,
little
like,
bit rushed
3
at this moment, and from that perspective, is probably actually a little bit. Probably is a little too hot for tea leaves.
Does he have a water at 180 degrees though?
We'll find out. Okay. So he offers you tea.
I will definitely take that tea, but not drink it because it's very hot.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You're saying what I think you're saying, right?
Yes.
Then what am I?
You are you.
Okay. Okay. That's great. She's watching me?
Yes. And she told me not to pass on to you that I'm sure your brother I'm certain has been like nicer than usual lately, but that doesn't make him a good person.
Oh, I know. Well, I think I know. I know. No, I definitely know.
I assumed you knew, but I have learned not to argue with mothers.
What?
Kaz's mother.
Cass's mother is a. She just looks
Yeah.
at Cass. She's a watcher like you?
Yes.
Did something happen to her like what happened to you, or is it a different nature, or
It's complicated and not really necessary to go into. She's not the same as me. The role of watcher is I guess closer to an occupation than
Okay.
anything else, but or maybe a different word than occupation, like a calling, right? Or something that you take up.
Where is she watching me from?
Yes, yes. Come, and he like guides you to the window,
Okay.
and he starts pointing up in the sky, and he points at the larger moon, thaw through, and he says, "Do you see on the left side of that how there's a row of 3 large craters
Uh-huh.
Right, and then you see next to the bottom one of those 3 craters, there's like that small little mountain thing.
Yes.
Yes, that mountain. Your mother lives in that mountain.
She's on the moon?
Yes.
How did your mother get on the moon?
I don't know. What do you mean? I'm so lost. How did she get to the moon? How can she breathe?
Is
Does
she
she need
okay?
to breathe?
Your world's understanding of science is actually a little wrong. It's
Okay.
actually a little wrong for your own benefit, because it's very easy to bite off more than one can chew. But I'm part of an organization within the Watchers, which your mother is one of, as well, that believes that it's time to start slowly considering that we might have to change that and open up certain things.
I'm
Oh.
gonna squat down and begin rubbing my head because I have a massive headache.
Oh, Kaz. Gonna just pet her hair.
Is she just on the moon forever? Can I go to the moon? She is my mother.
Would you like to go to the moon?
I would love to go to the moon.
Are we-
Well, that's complicated, but let me see if I can make that happen soon.
Alright.
It might take a little bit of time to organize everything, but it's certainly a possibility.
Wait, are you joking? Are you serious?
What?
No, why would I be
What?
joking?
I don't
You want
know.
to see your mother?
I do. This is a lot.
Yes.
She's
So
on the moon?
your mother, uh, well, I don't have a lot that I know about everything. I wasn't really in charge of watching the Kava Society, so everything. So please take it with a grain of salt, as it were. But the Kava people are have a role in the world, right? They're supposed to protect and guide the planet, point it towards some sort of strength and success, so that Isaim is in a good position. But the Kava has people within it that are arguing about these things, and your mother went against the dominant beliefs at the time. Originally, the Kava took her, but my understanding is that currently the Watcher who was responsible for the Kava decided that it was her time to pass on and needed a replacement, and thought that your mother was a good replacement for her, having watched your mother's entire life. And so the Watcher who preceded her went and, I guess, stole your mother away and taught her the ways of the Watcher, and then passed on.
Oh my god. So is the rest of my family, the other Kava, are they aware of what she is, where she is?
I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable about these things exactly, at all. But I honestly, not to um, not to dampen my appearance of extreme power and omnipotence and super knowledge and all that awesome stuff that I clearly have cultivated purposefully and very well. But honestly, the most time I've spent with someone from the Kava is this conversation.
Okay. Okay. But you're saying I could probably go to the moon and see her and talk to her?
Certainly, yes. I mean, it may take some time, and um, it's not the most subtle of things, and so we'll need to find a way to do it secretly, probably away from the city a little bit. But certainly, yes.
Is it
Whatever.
Oh, sorry.
You know. No, you go ahead.
Nope, I'm good. I was just gonna ask if it was something I could help with because the moon. I want to see Kaz go to the moon. But no, ask your question.
Oh, I didn't have a question.
Well, I'm a little bit tired, and so I'm going to retreat, I guess, and return to bed. But I'll be at the lighthouse if you need me. Either of you.
Thank you.
Alum, I can't even begin to tell you how. I don't know how I feel, but I feel at least happy to know where my mom is, and the fact that you brought this information to me, I don't know how to make that up to you.
Oh, please do not. It is a pleasure to do so. And on top of that, I would be an idiot to stand between a mother and her child.
Thank you.
He bows to you and then looks at Juniper and says, would a hug be inappropriate? I apologize if that question is rude.
It's not inappropriate, no. And she's gonna go in for the hug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he reaches down to hug you. He's still much taller than you.
Oh yes. Oh, yeah.
And do be careful.
Gonna try. It's getting a little hairier now.
Yes.
Not just because the extra tail, though.
And he walks out of the room.
Gonna just look at Kaz.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit, I think.
Oh,
no,
no,
I'm not.
Cass,
I'm
please
fine.
don't.
No, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. It's fine.
Okay. I have a bin just in case. It's full of messed up spell notes.
My face feels really hot. Is it hot in here?
It might. Do you want me to? Here. I'm gonna. I don't want to crack open a window, but I'll crack open a window just for Kaz in this case.
Yeah, and I think as you do, of course, the window like cracks open a little bit, but to do that you have to like sort of push aside one of the curtains. And as you do, a beam of moonlight just lands right on Kaz's lap.
I just look out to the moon and just start crying a little bit. Just a few tears. Hello, can you hear me? On the moon. I'll come see you soon.
And the rain begins to clear out of the sky.
Hey, did you do that just then? That's pretty dope. Holy, I don't know.
Literally, holy. Kaz.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You know what this means? I don't need them anymore. The only reason I kept putting up with them was because they had my mom, but they don't.
I don't think this is something that Juno knew before.
No, it's not.
Yeah. They've been saying that they had your mom. They've been holding that over you?
That's the only reason I went back and saw him after he barged in on the tavern was because I thought that was my only chance to see her again. That's the only reason I even left in the first place, was because she disappeared and I didn't know what to do. So I ran away.
Oh, Kaz. Well, if you want me to, if I'm allowed to go out and punch them now, I can.
We probably have bigger fish to fry right now.
We do, but I'm gonna hold that punch in reserve for you.
Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
Awesome.
Honestly, this was probably coming eventually anyways. I'm glad that now I don't have to choose between my mom and this cause.
Yeah. Hey. No, you don't need them anyways. Literally. You have a better family here and a better family waiting. And she's gonna just kind of like put a hand on her shoulder and be like, "Hey, Kaz, let's get you to the moon."
I'm gonna go to the moon. My mom is the moon. I mean, she's on the moon, but I mean, like,
Yeah. This is gonna change how I see the night sky for real.
Oh, me too.
And I think with that, we will fade out to break. I think when we come back from break, we'll do Jess's question. Sorry, Salwen's questions for Algernon. But I think the rest of our scenes will be the following day,
Yes.
if that's okay with everyone. I want to end the night. Excellent. Cool. Well, then, from that perspective, we'll be back in 10 minutes.
I'm sorry.
Excellent. Hello, world. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having as much fun with this as I am, although honestly, I do not think that is possible. This is just too much fun. And so I can't imagine what it must be like. It's so much fun to play and so much fun to do. And I am having such a great time. And I'm so lucky that I'm surrounded by these awesome and wonderful people. Um, as always, they are fantastic. At Health Pack Stream is playing Sawin. At Small Cactus Friend is playing Thomas. At Faye Wrights is playing Juniper. And at Ghost Roll _ is playing Kazan. Please follow them, check them out. Worship the ground upon which they walk because it is cool ground. If you're enjoying this content, please check out some of our other content as well. We run games right now on Mondays, Thursdays, and Sundays. All sorts of good stuff. All three of those games are set in the same world. So all the lore drop that was just dropped in this drop of lore is also true in their world, in their games. And so if any of them are watching, they are learning things about the world right now. Pretty cool.
As we say in the South, lore, yes.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. This is going to be a heavy lore drop week for all of those campaigns, I believe. We're going to be learning a lot of things about the world this week. And I'm pretty happy and excited about all of that. It's pretty fun. Just so everyone knows, this is the last episode of the Assassination of Primarch Magli Blackice. We're taking 1 week off and then we will return. Last is such the wrong word to use. Next Monday, we will not be playing. I am taking a week off to rest and recuperate and do some DM planning, among other things, and all that good stuff. Basically, I just decided I wanted a vacation, so I'm taking a vacation. I'm not going anywhere. I'll probably be sitting in this chair, but I'm not going to be running any games. So, yeah, I may be doing a little bit of streaming, but it'll be design stuff, not game stuff and things like that. So, just thought I'd let everyone know about that. If you're enjoying our content, please like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check us out on YouTube. Our YouTube channel's up now. Yeah, do good things and have good times. So, Sawin, last I left you, you were having a conversation with a powerful person who was offering you a trade.
Yeah.
Which, you know, on some level, I just want to, on some level,
yes.
right? You know, he could have easily just enforced the Gaius and chose not to.
Yep.
Not that that would mean he was a good person, but he did choose not to. So he at least chose not to be evil. That doesn't mean he's a good person, but he did choose not to be evil in this moment.
Yeah, I understand that.
Okay, I wanted to clarify that for myself mostly. Okay, Sawin.
I mean, just because I do business with him now doesn't mean I'm gonna I'm not going to put a knife in his back later. So
I like it.
Is still very much on the table for me. I don't like this man.
I think that's perfectly reasonable. I think it's perfectly reasonable not to like this man. I think there's a lot of reasons to not like this man. I will also say that you are not the first person that I have run games for who has decided they do not like this man.
Okay. I mean, that tracks. If he acted like this in the other campaigns, yeah, that tracks.
I mean, he is like himself.
Okay. I can't wait till this campaign is over, and then I can learn all the nitty gritty about this man. Okay, so I wrote 5 questions.
Okay.
Hopefully, it scratches everybody's itches.
We'll find out.
And I have 2 questions in here that are kind of selfish, but I think it would be fun for reasons.
Well, let's find out.
Quick clarification on my questions. Some of them are like conjunction questions, so it's like blah and blah. Is that legal for my questions?
I mean, I think the truth of the matter is that I have relatively strict guidelines that he has to follow.
Okay, all right, cool.
But a conjunction question is not explicitly against those guidelines. It's like what would be against those guidelines is what is the meaning of life and where on the planet is this thing, because they're not really linked. Those are 2 questions, right? But if they're linked to a certain extent, then I think like there's wiggle room.
Okay, yeah, because I had most of my questions were linked to each other. Okay, so the first one, Sawen's going to ask, what types of magic do you know, and how difficult would it be for me to learn them from you?
Okay. The magic, or what you think of as magic on this world, I know a bit about, and I could certainly show you tricks of this. But really, what you're asking me about is something else, something that you might call the old magic, or the magic of the covering. And that, whether I could teach bits and pieces of it to you, to teach you too much of it would be forbidden. It is something that you must come to on your own.
Okay. The second question Sawen's going to ask is, what are your current political allegiances, and why were you talking to the Primarch's kid?
I have no allegiances to your political systems. I have an allegiance to life itself. I have an allegiance to Isaim. That doesn't really put me in relationship with your Primarch. I'll admit that I've been on the wrong side of things before, but I've been on the right side of things before too. It is difficult to say.
Well, the night that you did what you did to me, you were speaking with the Primarch's kid, which is why I took an interest in you.
Yes, I was gathering information. I wanted to know. Children are often overlooked by their parents and sometimes know more than they should, as was the case here. I manipulated him to give me information. He alluded to things that had me worried. I certainly do not like the Primarch. I think he is arrogant and a fool, and meddles with things that he does not understand. And certainly he is power hungry. I think the Kava and I disagree on this. They want stability, even at the cost of freedom, even at the cost of citizens.
What the
But
Primarch wants isn't stability. He wants chaos, really, in its own way.
I certainly agree with you. I do not think that is how the Kava sees it.
Well, the only thing the Kava has going for them is my friend, and I'll just leave it at that.
There are lost people. My own opinion.
At this point, Sawen's going to get up from the table and say, one moment. He's going to walk into his room. He's going to grab his violin case. And he's going to bring it out and set it on the table and open it up. And then he's going to ask his third question, which is, what can you tell me about the language and any that is on this instrument and any other objects that might bear it? or bear the language, I mean, not bear the instrument.
I can translate it for you if you like. Or do you already have a translation? Never mind. The language is old, far older than you, and it is not from around here. Did I lose it? No, I didn't. The language is old, and it is not from around here. You are. When it appears on objects here, it is almost always appear as a form of external influence for no society, no culture that exists on Isaim still speaks this or writes this language. It is a sign in the involvement of others, always.
So, to clarify, is this the language of Siba and her kind?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I could see how that would be confusing. No, a different. This is a race of people, a weird one, and one I don't fully understand, called the Arcane.
Okay. I'm not sure how much Algernon's going to give Samhain for this fourth question, but we're gonna ask and see what happens. What happens, or what could happen, or might happen, if the gods are restored to their proper places in Isaim?
You realize I have no idea if that's possible or not. I want to preface with that. I will answer as best I can, but it's worth pointing out that it's pure speculation on my part.
That's fine. You have more information than I do, so your speculation's going to be better than my own. I realize that.
Well, likely they would return to their posts as guardians of the planet, protect it, keep it safe. The people of the Kva and others that you may or may not be aware of would no longer need to use the magic of the covering to hide this place. The gods would take care of it. They likely would again influence events here. Gods are just like all powerful forces that have a personality attached to them. They have interests, they have desires, they have battles and wars. It might be different. It might not. It's hard to say. But certainly, certain things that have been handled before would not be handled in the same way. The protection, guardianship, and stewardship of Isaim, primarily.
Well, my understanding of how the world works now, as opposed to how it did once, was that when the gods were sort of locked out of the house, so to speak, that Siba and her kind took up the mantles that and partially the responsibilities that the gods carried because there was a vacuum.
Yes, you're not mistaken on that front at all. To some degree, that is certainly true. To another, though, there are other organizations, some of which you know, the Kava being the most prominent, that took up other aspects of the duty of the gods. These beings, creatures like Siva and our mutual friend, they are powerful, but they do not have the power of godhood. That is something else entirely. So their jobs were, or what they did was divided. Their responsibilities taken up by different forces, and the decision to, hide things as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes. And the last question I have, again, this is probably going to ask you to speculate, but considering you know more about, and he just kind of like gestures like above him than I do, is it normal for people of Isaim to die and get held in a place with these entities?
You're speaking of the afterlife?
If that's what it's called, then yes. Whatever it is, when I am a conduit. Is it normal for those who once walked the land of Isaim to get stuck in this in-between space?
The only answer I can give is no. That is far from normal. It would be ridiculous for me to say otherwise. I've never heard of such a thing, but when we are speaking of creatures and personalities and people of such presence, of such power, then I would be foolish to say that it is impossible.
Duly noted.
Do you feel like you've gotten a fair bargain?
Fair enough.
And for me?
The man that I've had an interaction with, and again, I do strongly caution you to not directly engage with him, just given the circumstances. And if the fireball solution is the method that I should not, myself and my friends should not be using to deal with him, then I think it might be best if we, for a time, work together towards the common cause. If I cannot, if we cannot seek help elsewhere. But the man goes by two monikers. The first one is rather well, it's sort of got a teenager bite to it. So that moniker is Pouring Black Blood.
Ugh. Okay. And the other one?
The other name is Prince Alephim. Also, right.
You're you of course are aware of what Alephim means.
Yes, I am well aware.
Oh.
But I can assure you that Prince is more than what he appears.
It is.
The name is definitely a misnomer.
It is unusual to fear a person with not one but two dumb names.
But that is my suspicion.
Very well. Then I will consider this a fair bargain. If you This is an idle question, and feel free not to answer it. But out of curiosity, it's pretty rare that someone can break through my magic. Certainly, it's very rare that someone of
my skill level.
I was trying to find a polite way of saying that, but yes, and I'm curious how you did it.
I think Sawin's just going to answer him and just say, a favor given is a favor owed.
Well, I'm not willing to owe you a favor yet. Though you never know. A time may come.
Oh, no, you mistook me, but you asked how I did it. A favor given is a favor owed.
Oh, I see. Bargain. Well, I hope it didn't cost more than it is worth. I will take my leave of you.
Before you go...
You see a light flash behind him again.
Before you go...
Yes.
How about a reading, for real, on the house?
Roll a persuasion check.
Oh, Yep. I want to freak him the fuck out. I really hope I do. Oh, I rolled a 9.
Card tricks.
I can assure you it's not a card trick.
Really? Can I see your deck?
No. That is fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Are you good? These readings of yours?
I'm very good.
It's not always the best thing to think of the future in that way.
It's normally not future. It's more the here and now. But when I say I'm very good, I mean the cards are very good. I'm merely just the interpreter.
You mean merely just the conduit. Hold on. And he turns, and you see his face, just sort of as it turns sideways, you see just like this light ripple that's just floating in the middle of your house for a second. And the camera would recognize it as the same ripple or similar ripple that was in Juniper's room. And he just says, Siba, I will be slightly longer than we expected. And then he turns towards you, and the ripple fades. Deal your cards.
Surprised that worked with a 9. The general one is, the general readings I do are thinking, feeling, and doing. So, Sawin draws 3 cards. Hang on one moment because I realized I drew a face card, so I need my cheat sheet, which is specifically tailored for Isaim and all that. So, hello, hi. Discord's gonna be a bear. That's fine. Sorry, I should have had that prepped.
Oh, no worries.
There we go. Okay. So the first card Samhain draws, it's the Fool, which is the Naga, and it's facing Algernon. Recklessness, being taken advantage of, inconsideration. In your excitement to start a new journey, you have not heeded the dangers that surround you. This card suggests excessive eagerness and no awareness of consequences. You must plan more carefully on your journey ahead. Who else do your actions affect? So that's thinking, feeling. The next card that Samhain draws, the cards are facing Samhain now. Samhain drew the Kraken. Strength. Bravery, compassion, focus, and inner strength. A great deal of inner understanding that radiates power. Along with this power, there is also compassion. Thus, the relationship between the Kraken and the sea is not one of force, but of balance between them. And lastly, doing, which is a 9 of Pentacles. Fruits of labor, independence, and rewards. After much hard work, this card indicates a time of opulence and luxury, all resulting in a feeling of satisfaction, emotional comfort, and peace. All of this is due to one's intelligence and self-control and represents an achievement that has lasted over a lifetime.
Seems a long way off for me. I was there, you know.
There where? There are lots of wheres.
And lots of wins. I was there when the heroes of old decided to sunder the gods from the world. I wasn't in the room with them, but I knew them. I even considered some of them friends. Well, any thoughts on this reading? What it means? Or is it just for me to figure out?
Again, I'm only here to interpret the meanings of the cards. What you take away from it is entirely up to you.
Well then,
I think that this is, if I had to hazard a guess from what I've gotten out of the cards, so Sawan taps the first one, the one that has the Naga facing um facing Algernon, and I say, well, I know that one actually. I said this was a thinking, feeling, doing reading I was doing for you, but it appears that this is a joint reading and less about thinking, feeling, and doing, and more about our current situation. So Sawan taps the Naga and he goes, that one I know is specifically meant for you. And then Sawin taps the Kraken and says, "That one was for me." And then he taps the last one and says, "I think that this is for both of us."
So our fates are intertwined.
For now.
Who did your cards art?
I can only tell you where I got the cards from, but they were a gift from a friend who was from Prian. I don't know the original artist.
The original artist was quite gifted. They were inspired, one might say. And he reaches forward and with one finger touches one of the cards and moves it onto one of the other ones, and then touches the other one and moves it onto it as well. And now they're sort of interlaced on top of each other. They're sort of forming like a triangle almost, where one is above and below, where one card is above and below each of the other two cards.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at it and looks at you and says, "What do you see here?"
What do I see?
You've never looked at the cards in this way before. And when you look down, you see that combined between the cards, some of it blends into the other art. It matches up perfectly. And you see a weird script that you've seen before painted on the inside of a violin.
Mm-hmm. Can I read any of it? Is the question.
I don't think you have enough knowledge to read it. But if you'd like to, you have a friend who might be able to help you with that.
What does that say? I'm not good enough at reading it yet.
Probably nothing important. He nods. Thank you for the reading. And
Yep.
he stands up and he walks towards your front door, but doesn't go through it. Instead, you see another one of these shimmers of in reality, and he walks through that instead. And then it disappears.
Oh, before it disappears, like, does it light up again? Like when Siva was checking on him?
Yes.
Sawin just leans forward and goes, "Nice to meet you, Siva." And then we'll just sit at the kitchen table playing with the cards.
Yeah. Can you roll a persuasion check for me? This is actually just like you're showing manners to Siva, and I want to see how she feels about that. She's not going to respond either way, but I just want to see how she feels about it.
Wait. Oh, a 9?
Okay, great.
I didn't mean to click on it before you told me to roll it, but that's
It's your call. Whatever. If you want to roll again, that's fine. I'm fair with that. Nat 20. Great. She likes it. Cool. Excellent. And Algernon leaves.
It's nice to, have manners to the one that's responsible for life and rebirth. Okay, yeah, I'm done. Sawin's just gonna sit at his table, and now he's going to frantically arrange all 72 cards until they fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's so roll a investigation check.
Oh god, he's not very good at this. My boy is not intelligent. 13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it becomes very, very quickly apparent to you, like obviously so, you're enough at this to deduce this, that there's no way to do that. In fact, like the way the characters are built, they're like it's a portion of a letter here, a portion of a letter here. The cards could be reorganized in multiple ways to form different meanings. more or less every collection of the cards can overlap in different ways. So it's unlikely that there's one true meaning. It's actually probably more likely that, like your deck itself, the reading is in the meaning is in the reading, not hidden in the cards.
Cool. So Sawin's gonna take the cards back and rearrange them then in the triangle pattern that Algernon had arranged them. And then he's going to write exactly how it's printed on the cards and like try to compare the shapes to like what's inside his violin then.
Yeah. There are certainly similar shapes. For now. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So everyone gets sleep. Whether it's a good night's sleep or not, that's a different question, but it is now the next day, at least. And we just had a lot of big lore drops for 3 of us, so let's turn to poor lonely Thomas. Hey, Thomas.
Wait, what? No, what happens to someone's deck? What happened? Kaz's mom is on the moon. I want to know what happens. Pan away.
Oh, checking in on Thomas.
Boring.
Yeah, Thomas is the boring one. Okay.
Okay. So I've got a couple things I want him to do. I think he turned in pretty soon after that kind of discovery with Mercury the previous evening. Hopefully everything on his desk should be pretty squared away. He has a box. It's in his inventory. He has a small chest, as it were. And in that box, he has placed basically anything valuable or mission based that he's gotten, like the rubbings of the etched bone and the small soulwood box, and basically anything that I've listed in his Roll20 inventory that's like a custom item, including the little bottle of like the soulwood and earth's blood. And he is going to put a few gold coins in there just for flavor, and he is going to turn to Mercury. And he's going to say, so, do you remember once upon a time when you asked me if you could just have some of these things that we discovered?
Yeah, boss.
Well, I feel that we can maybe work out a little deal here. Do you know what a library is?
Yeah, boss.
Basically, this looks like the start of a pretty decent hoard to me. Obviously, the chest is going to be a little heavy for you to lift, I think, but the individual items in the box are pretty small. They're pretty unique, somewhat valuable. If you could find somewhere to start a hoard where you know nobody will find these things and just kind of keep them there, and then sort of like a library, if I need some on a temporary basis, we could discuss how long I'll have it out of your hoard, and then if I don't have it returned to you by that time, I'll start owing you more fish until I have it returned, or if it gets lost or destroyed, I'll owe you something else that's nice.
Wait, let me get this straight, boss. So you want to give me stuff and then want to give me more stuff in order for me to give you your own stuff back to you?
No.
This is a great deal for me. Yeah, definitely. I'm down.
I can take things out of the hoard when I need them, when I need to. If I say,
nope,
I need
you
this.
need fish.
Nope, this is how this
out of
works.
the hoard,
This is
you need
something
fish.
new. It's a new tradition. It's fun. This is fun.
You're gonna need fish to get things out of the hoard.
No, that's because if I only have it out of the hoard, let's say I need this for the afternoon. I need this little box, this box right here for the afternoon. If I don't have it back to you, if I don't have it back to you by sunset, I will owe you a fish. And then if I don't have it back to you the next day, I will owe you another fish.
Nah, I don't think that's a good deal for me.
I think it's going to happen that way.
I
think I'm
think
very
you're gonna owe me a
generous.
fish just for checking things out.
I think you're very lucky not to have to get your own damn fish every minute of every day. Now,
Well, I think you're very lucky not to have to go spy on your own warehouses every damn day.
oh, well, what is that supposed to mean?
I think you know exactly what that means, boss.
All right, well, if we need some space to ourselves, I'll just take all of these things, and he puts them back in the chest and he closes it up.
Wait, boss. You just gave that stuff to me.
No, we were discussing the terms under which you would have...
You already said it was mine.
No. That is not something that was said.
This is Mercury's hoard now.
No, it's not.
I think it's my hoard.
No, it's... can you back me up here?
I will not get involved.
Oh, wonderful. So helpful. I need you to hide these things where no one will find them, because a very nosy person is going to be all up in our business, as the youth say. And, oh, what happened to my computer?
No, you're good.
Oh, my screen just went black, though.
Oh, well, you're still on.
I can't see anything. It's very peculiar, and I don't like it at all. I don't know what to do.
Okay. Can you?
Like,
you
I
can
won't have access to roll 20, and I have to enter. Oh my god.
Is it looking okay on Twitch?
What?
Okay.
Sorry.
How's it looking on Twitch, other people?
It looks fine to me. Can you hear us?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. It's stressful, but it's okay.
I hate this a lot.
Do you want to keep doing the scene, or do you want to move to the other room?
No, I definitely don't want to do that.
Okay. I mean, I will say this: you look and sound perfect.
Well, I won't have access to any of my stats.
I can do that if you're willing to trust me.
Yeah, I just prefer to do it myself. Why is
I
it
know,
doing
baby.
this? Okay, I guess let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah. So, I think Mercury is mostly teasing you.
Yeah, I feel like he's
in favor of more fish.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's teasing with purpose. He wants more fish, but he's already pretty fat. You do spoil him a little bit.
I need him to be airborne. That is that's the line.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, that's the line. Yeah, and he, but I think basically what he wants to know is, do you want you to know where the hoard is, or do you want only him to know where the hoard is? Like, are you protecting against mental from yourself?
I think I don't need to know where the hoard is. I think that as long as it's somewhere that people are not likely to find it. If a seagull makes a nest adjacent to it, I trust him to handle that situation. But I don't need people rolling.
Those are a little stringy for him, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So he looks at you and says, "Fine, you have a deal, boss. Could you leave the chest open and your window open for me? And I'll be out of commission for most of the day as I do this. If you need copies of me or something, do that."
I'm all right for now. Thank you so much. Yes. If you could take the little cologne bottle first, that would be helpful to me.
Sure. And he goes and grabs it. Yeah. And you can at your leisure put a label in your inventory, Mercury's hoard, and you can put items in there as you see fit.
Okay, cool.
This will to set this up takes him hours, obviously. So he'll be doing this he'll be out of commission for today, or a good chunk of today. But in general, if it's just one item, then you can just toss it in there whenever you want.
Yeah.
Basically, that sound good?
Yes.
Good.
I will take that little amount of time that it takes for him to retrieve it in exchange for that amount of privacy and security.
Excellent. Do you have another thing you want to do this morning?
Yes. I have two more things.
Good.
Well, two more things and maybe the start of a third thing. I'm going to call that acolyte, which what was her name exactly? I think we specified that I didn't ask for her name, but
Yes.
Yeah.
We did specify that you didn't ask for her name. Let's see. Let's give her a name. Her. I think her name is Misra.
Can I get the spelling?
Misra. Misra.
Okay. All right. He's going to kind of get things ready to go because he's going to walk over to Juniper's, but he's going to kind of call her in for a minute as he's heading out.
You needed to see me, priest?
Yes. I was thinking about what you said, and I'd be quite grateful for a little bit of maintenance around here. I was up till the wee hours just trying to get things in order, and it occurred to me I could be sleeping like everyone else in the temple right now if I had someone to lend a hand in organization. And you said you had some clerical experience previously. If you wouldn't mind terribly.
Oh yes, of course. I worked for an accounting firm. Yeah. How do you have preferences about how you organize things, or do you just trust me to organize them in a way that will, I can teach you my filing system if you want, or if you have your own filing system, you can teach it to me.
Oh, well, in general, and he's going to lead her around the desk, and he's going to be like, this drawer is for merchant correspondence, and this drawer is for, temple to temple stuff, and this is the notes for the outreach stuff with the community that he's been trying to get together, and this is his personal correspondence and all that stuff. It's been sanitized, which is what he did last night. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's going to pull a little basket out from underneath the desk. He's going to say, "No, this is for anything personal or anything that's just scrap paper or something that needs to be destroyed. Quite a bit goes in here, but if you see that there's anything in here, just toss it on the fire, and don't worry about that." So it's a little squared away for today because I did want to get everything ready. But, if it starts to build up again, maybe once, twice a week, if you could help me with that, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Oh, sure. No problem. I'd be quite grateful to assist. It's, Camden's path for me, I think.
Well, we all have our talents, and, it's so important to encourage those. It's nice to meet someone who is aware of their strengths and really wants to play to them, who has a goal for where they're going, because we all have different ways that we can help each other and the world around us. And I think you're here for a reason, Misra.
It's so wonderful to hear that, Thomas. I really appreciate the faith that you're putting in me, and I will return that faith to Tamden sevenfold.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I am going to be heading out, but I look forward to working with you. Thank you. And he's going to kind of usher her out as he goes.
Yeah. Excellent. Beautiful.
Yep. And heading to Juno.
Just a fun little gameplay note. Obviously, there's no deception check there because there's nothing that you're trying to hide. You've already removed all of your incriminating information. You did that last night, so there's no need to roll, right?
Yeah, this is a plant. This is a setup. He wanted to draw her attention to that basket.
Yeah, absolutely worked. Okay. Yeah, and you make your way over to Juno's place. Sounds good to me. Kaz, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Are you off duty or on duty?
I think on this particular day, I would want to go visit Solin pretty early in the morning to figure things out.
Okay.
But I would like to, if possible, establish something that I want to make part of my nighttime routine.
Okay.
Because I've been meaning to do it for a while, but I wanted to cast Find Steed last night and summon a Mastiff. That is celestial in nature and speaks celestial to just keep an eye out while I sleep, and while I'm gone to also just keep an eye on Lady Iria's estate.
Okay. That's not totally the coolest thing ever that you're just sort of tossing into the world casually. Fine. Okay. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. That's
His
awesome.
name's Latka.
Latka? Oh my god, that's such a great name. Latka. Is it spelled like Latka?
Yeah.
His
And
name is Latka. Latka the Mastiff.
yeah, I spend a good bit of the night just telling him all about myself, introducing myself. It's like, hi, my name's Kazan. I guess your name's Latka now. Well, actually, he can talk to me in Celestial.
My name is Latka.
That's just the best name possible. Well, Latka.
Carry the name as a proud tradition. I am the 43rd Latka in my line.
No way. That's very impressive, Latka. I'm very impressed.
Well, I am pleased to be called for service here.
Well, I have a very important duty for you. I need you to just keep an eye out while I'm sleeping, and I'm gonna go pretty early in the morning. And while I'm gone, I'm gonna leave you here. I'll let the other guards know that you're mine. You're my pet. You're my associate. And I'd just like you to keep an eye on things. Any unusual people, anyone who bothers the lady of this estate. You'll know her when you see her. She's tall, blonde, celestial in nature.
Like myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I, Latka, the 43rd, do swear to you, Kazan, that I shall protect the lady of the estate with every power at my disposal. Let evil fear for its safety should it approach her den.
Oh, Latka, you're the best puppy ever. I mean, you're the best noble mastiff ever.
I am definitely quite noble, and his tail wags.
Can I please pet you?
Of course.
I give him all the dog lovings. Okay, that's all I wanted to do that night.
Excellent.
Okay, and then in the morning, I'll get up. I'll bid Latka adieu. I don't know what celestial dogs eat, but I'll offer him some breakfast.
Thank you. Farewell, Mistress Kazan.
Farewell, puppy. I mean, goodbye. Noble Latka. I'm gonna make sure I don't stand out too much. I'm wearing my armor, but I'll wear like a cloak. I don't want to use disguise self, and I will head to Samhain's place. He's probably not awake, and he will probably not be upset. He probably will be upset to be woken up by me, but it is what I'm doing.
Okay. Cool. Excellent. Yeah, let's do that then. We'll start there. Kazan wakes up Samhain. Samhain, is that true? Are you woken up, or were you up on, or?
I don't think Samhain would have been up too late into the evening. I think after he realizes that trying to assemble the cards in a way that makes sense is probably really fruitless. And he probably would have gone to bed. So he probably would be wait, like how early is early that Kazan is stopping?
It's early. It's very early.
All right,
the sun
yeah,
has really risen.
Yeah, so like Samhain will like go to the door, like look out the peephole, and he's just gonna answer in his pajamas. Yes. I thought we weren't seeing each other.
I mean, like he knows this already. What's the harm? I have something very important to tell you.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't done my morning routine yet, so come in. Might as well
Okay.
include you in it.
Is there like a window in your room?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take Solomon by the shoulder and direct him towards the window. I'm
I
gonna
don't
point.
really know what's going on right now, and
I'm gonna point in at the sky, like in the general direction where the moon would be, or is it still there? I don't know.
Nope.
Okay, I point in the general direction where it would be and say, "Hey, my mom's like up there."
so Solid just like he stares at the window for a moment, and then like turns around and like goes, "Oh, Kazan, I am so sorry," and then he hugs him.
No, she's alive. She's just on the moon.
Oh my god. he like stops hugging her, like puts her like how like when someone says something really incredulous and you just like need to hold them at like arm's length and look at them solidly. That's what Solomon does. He goes, oh, what? And he goes, no, don't say anything. And then he'll cast non-detection on himself and and Kazan.
Oh,
All right. Your mother is on the moon.
mm-hmm.
What?
And she's she's very special, and not just because she's on the moon. I found out last night. Juno's nerdy friend told me.
At this point, Solid just sits on his bed and he just like absolutely loses it. And he goes, "You must be worked to the bone."
No,
Do you have a fever?
actually, I kind of do, but that's not related. It's not related to that at all. Well, actually, it is a little bit because I was also very shocked. But it's true. It's true. You can ask Juno. She was there.
Are we are we all cracking under pressure? Is this what it feels like? And he's just like looking at her and going, you need to take some time off. You've got isn't your mother with the rest of the kava?
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. But apparently not. Apparently she got a hefty promotion to the moon, and now she's up there and she's watching. In fact, that's her job, to watch.
Well, that's a little creepy.
No, it's beautiful.
She watches. What exactly does she watch?
I don't know.
Does she just watch you? Does she watch everybody?
I hope she watches me more than other people, but I don't know. I just wanted to open with that. That's not really why I came here, but isn't that exciting? Oh, and Alum said I could go to the moon to see her.
You can go to the moon. Huh. He's like still trying to like wrap his head around it. It's like, you really shouldn't talk to people before they've had their morning coffee.
I'm sorry. I knew you would not. I knew you wouldn't be awake, but I really needed to get this out of my system.
Okay. So if your mother is on the moon,
Mm-hmm.
wait, does that make you
I have no idea. I asked, but he just said you're you, so I guess I'm me.
well, if you did you ask him who am I? Because
I did.
that's probably why he told you you were you.
Well, I didn't say who am I. I said what does that make me?
Huh. So like Solid sits there for a moment and goes, maybe the
Well,
original scheme that I had, after all, would actually work out in our favor.
scheme?
Oh, to deal with our prince situation. I was gonna pair us all up with, and then he like gestures towards the sky, with folks who have a similar goal in mind and have a little bit more firepower than we do. And I mean, if your mom is, although that means that you should have some of what she has going. I'm not actually. I'm not going to presume to. I apologize. That was really rude. Um,
No,
here,
maybe no.
I'll make breakfast.
Oh, okay. I've already eaten. You don't have to make anything for me. I had breakfast with
How have
vodka.
you already
and
eaten?
dog.
How are you functional?
I'm not.
Then come sit. We'll eat and have. You can have second breakfast. How's that?
Okay.
Did you just casually drop into a conversation? Oh, I had breakfast with Latka, my celestial dog friend.
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, did you really just tell Silent that you had luck? Wait,
Yes.
you have a dog now.
Yeah, that was kind of the second thing I did. I don't know. I was really excited and I just need to tell another living being that my mom is on the moon. So I thought, why not make someone come here immediately so I could just tell them? I mean, I know it's a lot. As far as I know, there's nothing special about me in relation to that. It sounded like she got a promotion, or rather, she took over someone else's position. So I don't think there's anything inherently. I mean, not, I don't think there's anything. I am who I am.
Mm, okay. Um. So what? So if coming to tell me about your mother wasn't the first, or what you really wanted to see me for, and the ownership of your new dog, then why have you come to call at such an early hour?
That was just friendly stuff. Now business. So
No, it's
uh
business. And then he's like howling as he's like pulling out eggs and he begins like frying them up. Okay. All right.
um so remember how I'm like very cursed and my hands literally decay things just before my very eyes.
Oh wait. Oh sugar. Sawan didn't even think and he hugged her.
Oh,
It's
no,
fine.
it's it's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, cool. I guess we know that now. I didn't even think about it. Just the player did not think about that. I could have killed Sawan. Sorry, go on.
I would very much like to for that to not be a thing anymore, and I would like to be able to heal again. So I was thinking maybe your acquaintance maybe could help me out. Masha Seasworn.
Mm. I already owe her a favor for helping with retrieving my memory, and she has not called in that favor yet. But I understand that healing is what you do. It's part of you, and um,
I wouldn't want you to bear the burden. This would be a favor that I would owe her. I was just hoping you could maybe introduce us.
I don't think she'll see it that way. But I'll let you know that in advance. I don't think she will see it that way. I think she will see it as me coming to call and cash in on another favor,
Well,
or to basically build up my bill, so to speak, put it on my tab. That's the phrase Jess was looking for. Okay.
well, maybe I could convince her otherwise. It's worth a shot.
I
I-
mean, she would know your face. I mean, we were all there when we got her out of the shithole. um,
That's true. Actually, I just need to know where she is. You don't have to come with me. Then you're not even part of the equation.
um, so I don't want you going there by yourself. It's not really a nice part of town.
I'll be okay. I don't want you to owe her any more than you already do.
I mean, she's probably going to say that I owe her anyways, even if I tell you where she is and, like, confirmed that she can do this. But I understand that you need to get back to your normal as soon as possible, or else it's going to make the things that we're trying to do very difficult. So he writes down the address of Masha's shop and goes, if she insists that I'm the one to owe her a favor, then don't argue with her. Just let it be, and you and I can sort it out later.
Thank you.
Okay.
If I could just get a word in. Normally, knowing that this might cost you, I wouldn't then go and find her anyways and put this burden on you, but I can't stand the sight of myself like this. And I need to do something about it soon. We know something's going to happen later this week, and if something happens because I can't heal, I don't think I can come back from that.
I think that the sooner you can get on this, the better. I mean, it took Masha 5 days to get the ingredients to help me with my issue. I think the sooner you see her, the better. And at this point, you need to be yourself again. What was done to you was really awful and terrible, and I don't care if it comes at a cost to me. You need to be right again. You can't live like that.
No, I really can't.
Sawin?
Hmm.
Do you have any plants or herbs in your house?
I would have had the I would have taken whatever Garhaz's family didn't claim of his like potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Sawin would have gotten any other plants just yet. I think he would be taking care of the potato plants first.
Okay. One of the potatoes turns black.
Like very suddenly.
Yeah.
Did I do that?
Okay, where is this plant in relation to me and Kazan?
I think it's on like the kitchen counter. You were doing eggs and things like that. So it's there.
Did I touch it? Did I knock it?
Nope. It's probably by the window that Kaz pointed out of, and that you hugged her at.
Okay, I'm assuming that I have at least a dozen of these plants. So
Mhm.
Solomon is going to walk to another plant, and he's going to touch it.
Nothing happens.
This is gonna seem really weird because he's not telling Kazan what he's doing, but he's gonna pick up the plant and he's gonna touch it to his shirt where he touched Kazan.
Nothing happens.
Why are you and that plant getting personal?
Kazan, that plant, and he so someone will point at the windowsill. That was not black a second ago.
Oh,
We need to get you right as soon as possible.
Wait, I did that? Oh, I should probably not be in here then. Oh, I was with Juno last night and she gave me a hug and you just did too.
Well,
Okay.
that's what I was trying to figure out, if it was just me or you being here, and I got personal with the plants, and nothing has happened. So Sawan's going to pick a leaf off, and then he goes, just hold still for a moment, and then he's gonna touch the leaf to Kazan.
The leaf decays. It turns brown and then crumples to dust.
You know, I feel like that's just a visual representation of what my brother says about me all the time anyways.
Well, your brother's a piece of shit, and I can't wait to kick his teeth in.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm making jokes. I'm very upset right now that just happened.
Go see Masha.
Yeah,
I think she lives above her store anyways, so don't be alarmed if she addresses you while you're still in the alley. It's kind of her thing.
Interesting. Yeah, I should leave, and you should take a shower probably. Not because you smell, but I don't want you to decay.
Yeah, Sawin's just gonna go, all right, keep me posted, okay?
I will. See ya.
All right, yeah, and then
Okay.
Sawin's just gonna take the hottest shower he's ever taken in his entire life and scrubbing.
Sounds good. Always good. Okay. Meanwhile, across town, not exactly across town, but slightly a different part of a different neighborhood, Thomas arrives at Mela Stepwise's house, where Juno is.
My screen has been popping in and out arbitrarily, so let's see how much control over this I have.
Great.
All right, well,
yeah, he's gonna knock on the front door. What's up, guards?
Do you have business? You're not on the schedule for Mela Stepwise, so I was given the schedule this morning by her assistant.
No, I'm here to see Juniper.
Oh, you're a friend of Juniper's?
Yes.
Juniper has a priest friend?
Well, why wouldn't she have friends?
I'm sorry, she doesn't seem the religious. Sorry, yes, of course, and opens the door. Juniper, it doesn't let you in though. His friend, the other guard, goes in. Juniper, you have a caller, one Thomas Dagmar, a priest of Tampton.
Oh yes, we have been. We've just had some friendly philosophical debates, but yes, no.
Well, and I'm here to talk to you about the bakery as well. I mean, Our mutual friend Blackberry works there, and there's been some developments on the reconstruction. I thought you'd like to know.
Oh, good. I've been wondering how he is. Yes, please let him in. Thank you.
And they pat you down. Thomas, looking for weapons. Do they find any?
No.
I didn't think so. Just double checking. We're just clarifying that they do that. Okay, and you are allowed in.
Well, hi, Thomas. This is unexpected.
I told you I don't go in the kitchen door.
Yeah, I know. I guess it would have looked worse if you'd come in through the back, huh? Hold on. Let me make you some tea. So she's gonna make him some tea.
Are they gonna go like somewhere private?
Yeah, she has some leftover. Yeah, she has some leftover scones because she gave some to the guards, and that's why Kaz had first breakfast. And is gonna take him up to the study, and she is going to cast non-detection on herself. Well, no, she's not.
Can she cast it on an area or on multiple people?
Yeah,
or...
what she's gonna do is she's going to say, well, I can only cast this once per day, so let's just make it count. And she's going to cast the handy dandy little spell that she has, which I've already forgotten after 1 week. Private Sanctum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and Private Sanctum is gonna block sound coming out. Obviously, it's not gonna have it block the vision again because people seeing them talking isn't gonna really be an issue. But everything else, yeah. Okay,
great. Private Sanctum is now enacted.
Look what I can do.
Oh my god, this is fantastic. What does it look like?
It's just a dome. It's just a dome. It literally, actually, I cast it.
Is it any color? Is it like glowing? Is it translucent?
Like, yeah, the thing is, like, I cast this spell, right? Absolutely nothing visually changed. Like, it looks like she just cast the spell, and then nothing happened, and she goes, "Look what I can do." She goes, sorry.
You threw another tail on command?
No, but thank you for noticing. We won't be targeted by divination spells, and people with like scrying can't look in, and they can't hear us, so we're okay.
Lovely.
Right now. Yeah,
that's useful.
Oh yes, but incredibly taxing magically. So this is it for me right now. What's going on, Thomas? A lot's happened the past day.
Like what? What's going on? Is everyone all right?
Kaz's mom is on the moon.
What?
That's new. That's a new one. And my friend is I have a friend who I've been studying with.
I did not know that. Do you know about everything?
Sort of, not really. He knows that I'm he knows I'm a revolutionary.
Are we going to do this every 3 weeks?
No, but he's technically 14,000 years old, and she's just gonna give a brief rundown of who Alan is.
That's quite good for my vanity, I suppose.
And but he looks super young.
Great.
Sorry. I mean, you're really handsome. Objectively, I'm sure. I don't know.
That's all right. You don't have to pander to me.
No, you're very pretty. You take a lot of time in your appearance. But
nobody really notices once you get past that age. But I do appreciate it.
The general notices.
Yes. But yeah. So he's just been a friend that I've had, and we've been studying abjuration magic together, and partly why I can do things like this. And apparently she explains the Watcher thing, and then she explains. And
he's why you can do this.
Sort of. He's abjuration magic, and I just took it in my own way. But
you don't draw your power from him, because I was under the impression that you studied this.
No, I studied this. I didn't draw it from him. Why would I draw it from him?
Well, it seems like everyone in this city has some ancient being who's
No.
helping them out. Oh, by the way, I'd like you to read someone. He just kind of like pulls his shirt over an inch. It's like,
Oh, we're all learning things about each other today. I should note,
it's been an
all
eventful
she said was
36 hours.
yeah, she didn't say anything else about Kaz's thing because she realized very quickly this is something Kaz should probably tell. So all he knows is Kaz's mom's on the moon. That's legitimately
Don't worry,
it.
I'll act surprised.
Okay, so when did you? Don't tattoos take a long time to get?
Yeah, you would think so. So the where is she? I can hear her, but I can't see her. The being that that has been helping me this whole time has come to stay.
Oh, and that's them.
In a form, yes, apparently.
Oh,
We are
hello.
working on a name, or I would introduce you properly.
Greetings.
How does Reginald sound? Maybe not.
Stuffy.
Okay. I did name one of them recently. Okay, so
What?
what? Nothing. Okay, so this
The
is new.
14,000-year-old being.
No, I didn't name him. He has a name. He named himself twice, apparently.
Well, see, it's so easy. Why can't you do that?
I could.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. So which speaking of, would he know anything? Your friend know anything about? Can you talk to him? Because
yeah.
I just heard him say greetings. Does
yes.
he know anything about Watchers?
Yes.
Watchers.
Are they generally benevolent?
They are generally irritating.
Oh, to you specifically, or in to everyone?
Yes.
Both. Well,
I mean, I find them irritating.
Wait, wasn't that? Wait, was Algernon? I'm losing track of the lore. Did Algernon say that?
There's so many parts of it, and we're getting a lot of it right now, so it's okay. No,
did Algernon?
No, Algernon did not say he was a watcher.
Okay.
Alum said he was a watcher.
Oh, okay.
And also Kaz's mom. He said that Kaz's mom is a watcher.
Well, and I know that Kaz's mom now lives on the moon. Well, you know, maternal, worry is just going to be a natural thing. I wouldn't call that an irritant necessarily. She's a daughter.
And, my friend is a very invested, studious person who, well, yeah, you'll be glad to know that you might be having to deal with two in your general periphery for a while. Sorry. Also, yep.
Why do you say that they're irritating? What have they done to you?
I just don't like their watching.
Oh, that they don't interact, or
No, they're just always watching. They stare at you. How would you? It's irritating to be aware that there are people that are just looking at you all the time. Imagine how you would feel if someone just was constantly looking at you all the time, every waking minute of your life.
I have been meaning to ask you about that. Can you perceive my thoughts? Because I've tried to be very, amiable in what I think and, everything, because I don't want to say anything rude, but are my thoughts still my thoughts, or what's the situation here?
Your thoughts are still your thoughts.
All right. Just curious.
So if a watcher's, specifically watching someone or keeping an eye on them more than others, are they able to perceive them at all times?
Yes.
Oh. Good for Kaz, though. Um,
Oh, imagine that's your mother. Oh God, if my
Oh.
mother could have perceived me at all times. Oh God. Oh God. Oh
Well,
God.
My distaste.
she hasn't seen her mother in forever, and I don't know, it might be nice to have people looking out for you. And
24/7, 365. Well,
yeah,
wait, that phrase has no meaning because that is not the calendar. Never mind.
so long as they're not trying to stop you from doing
Did you
anything.
just say 4 random numbers?
Yep. Okay.
I retract that. Belay my last.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that was my night. But what brings you in?
A couple of matters. I know we've all got quite a bit on our plate right now. I was wondering, I know that we discussed briefly before everything broke bad in the Soulwood Tavern about possibly dealing with Evangeline Corella.
Yeah.
I have a couple of ways that I have a couple of options through which we could proceed, as it turns out. One way, very sweet gesture. She's such a thoughtful person, Oceana. She contacted an assassin on my behalf, and he wants to know if I just, would like anyone gone. So that could potentially happen. Another option that would be, it would take maybe a few days at most, because I don't want to seem suspicious. There's a mole in my temple. Yes, a young woman named Misra, and I'm not sure to whom she reports. I have my suspicions, of course, based on, what it is that we're doing and who we generally find ourselves on the opposite side of. She expressed, I can imagine she's been doing this very long. It was kind of a clumsy overture, like, oh, I can't believe I'm so lucky that this person I'm supposed to watch is taking me up on this. I'm not sure whether she's as suspicious as she should be of me. I mean, really, did they send an amateur to watch? Who do they think I'm not going to get my feelings hurt. She volunteered to be a sort of a personal assistant, as I needed it to sort of manage my documents and my information.
So meticulous.
I know. Honestly, I'm having a hard time not being offended. If they thought it was going to be that easy, who did they take me for? I was born at night. I wasn't born last night.
Okay, so
we could potentially leave some documentation, not anywhere obvious, mind you, but somewhere possibly crumpled up in the fireplace, because I've drawn her attention to the wastebasket in my room and said I put my private correspondence, I crumple it up in there and just garbage and don't pay attention to it, so she's going to pay attention to it. And then I throw it in the fire, so just, if you see anything in the wastebasket, just toss it out. Obviously, if she immediately finds something incriminating, she's going to, well, I don't know if she would suspect that it was planted there. She's a little obvious. But maybe if I left something...
Only Thomas would be insulted by being spied on by an ineffective spy.
I'm saying!
I love it so much.
I know, it's so perfect.
It's fine. I'm fine.
It's so
fine.
perfect.
It's fine.
I love it. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
I apologize.
I'm fine.
Okay.
Maybe something half charred, could throw it towards the back of the fireplace and act like I'm starting to, light a fire as she comes in or something. If you could coordinate with Mela stepwise, or if we could speak with her together, I'm not sure, whatever would be convenient for you. Possibly write something that would incriminate Evangeline Corella as a double agent, or rather a triple agent at this point, I suppose. A young spy would likely ferry that back to her superiors, and that might end up doing the job for us.
Well, I'm not putting Stepwise's name on anything.
No, of course not. I'm just saying, if you could speak with her to sort of, I don't know, find out something personal about Evangeline Corella that we could put in there to make it seem like we really had her confidence or we really knew her somewhere. I know it might be a bit difficult to ask that of your mentor, but
I know her. I know where she tends to go. I know where she lives. I know her general habits. I've been using the word general a lot. I know her usual
why?
habits.
What have you heard?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I might have talked shit about him, but no. Well, yeah, I know her usual habits. So I can relay some of that to Thomas. But understand it might be difficult for them to think of her as a triple agent because she's giving out this information to them. It might be easier to have the assassin, but
what we could accomplish with the slower method is basically sowing distrust within their ranks. If she's a traitor, then who else might be one? And perhaps Oceana's acquaintance could focus on someone else. Possibly anyone else who works for the Ashen One. Two people executed within the course of a week.
Yeah, if we could get information, actually, if we could have that assassin get information from her place.
I don't really think he's going to be down for that. He really just wanted to kind of do the thing that he does.
We could send him after the,
I was rather thinking about asking him to snuff a random person, just any level of any regular little spy soldier who works for the Ashen One, maybe leave something that says traitor on their body. That, plus looking as though Corella has betrayed them, I anticipate that they would be shaken at best, a bit at each other's throats at worst, at least in the lower levels.
We can see. I can try to make it seem a little more difficult for them and write something in like an illusory script so that somebody has to actually like see through it. Make them work for it a little bit because it seems like your friend needs to work for it a little bit. That
well, do you mean like you would write something in an illusory script on some paper or something and leave it on that person?
Exactly. And then you're not able to see it unless you can see through illusion. And so
a blank piece of paper would prompt you into. Well, it would be perceived to be blank, so of course they would look into it to try to figure it out.
It'll be perceived as something very clearly not readable. So like jumbled words on the page kind of thing.
Know what it is.
Exactly. Yeah. So I can do that. We can I think writing something about the order being remade in her name maybe would be something. Now that she's thinned out the herd.
Possibly something about successfully throwing Mela stepwise under the bus, like she'll be out of the way soon, and well, no, because you said that they expect to deal with her in the near future. So if they think that, I mean, if we write something like with Mela stepwise, with attention diverted to Mela stepwise, or with her set up, once she's out of the way, they'll think they have the leader of all of it, and Corella can quietly slip away, or Corella can continue to lead from the shadows with no one the wiser, or something like that.
I could do something like that, yeah. But there's also
might take
the whole
a little
fact
bit of heat off your mentor as well.
Yeah. Hopefully, if they find it in time, your new friend is competent enough.
I'm not going to make it overly hard for her. Honestly,
Okay, let me draft it up. So I'm going to draft up pretty much what we said.
Okay.
He pours himself some more tea.
In a letter, and I'm going to cast illusory script on it so it looks like it's in code.
Okay.
But it's code that you can't crack unless you are able to see through it. Because
Put some niceties around the top, something that can just be like, indiscriminately bend, because I'm going to singe it a bit. I'm going to crumple it up and I'm going to singe it, and we'll leave the real meat of it.
Okay, it's going to be a recipe for green tea, for how to boil green tea, and it's how to boil green tea, and it's going to tell you to steep you have to steep the finest green tea at least 10 minutes, and I'm sorry, I'll stop.
You're too old to learn something. Maybe I'll try making some tea.
I'll have you know
actually do that.
Just because you can torture your DM doesn't mean that I can't torture you right back. Okay.
I know. I'm kidding.
It's torture for Thomas if he does this.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Please don't do it, Thomas. The tannins would be terrible.
Everyone watching at home, don't do it.
Don't do it this way.
I feel like we need to add a show on this channel that's just like us nerds talking about various teas that we like. Just like, an hour of that once a week. Just let's talk about tea for a week.
Teasers.
Yep.
Ooh, I love it.
Yes. And of course, you have to have it be made with salt water. And so she's going to draft it up, give it to Thomas.
I'm literally going to vomit. Don't tell me anymore.
Okay. And she's going to be like, well, there's also the whole thing with them possibly going after stepwise, so I might be a little distracted coming up.
So you've got a full day ahead of you?
I think so. Yeah. Why? Did you need me for something?
Well, I don't suppose you recall that warehouse.
Oh
that
man,
Kazan's her superior put us on to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as it turns out, Oceana's in port.
Oh.
We talked recently, and as expected, it looks like, well, not expected for that particular warehouse, but what we discussed, she and hers dropped off a load of what appeared to be, to Mercury, Cimmerian weapons last night.
Sorry, point of clarification, and you would know this. Oceana is not in port. This is part of her crew that was sent to deliver this.
Okay, cool.
So they were likely already on their way here when you spoke to Oceana.
I amend that.
Yeah, I just want to clarify the timeline.
She said she was going to be here within a week. I guess I got my timeline a little fast forwarded.
She said that yesterday at this point. So.
Yeah. We play in real time. So
it happens. I get it. Cool.
That makes it more impressive because in the course of a few months, we'll probably have reached level 20.
We've had a couple of time skips. We would get more.
So it looked like to Mercury, they were at least dropping off a shipment of Cimmerian weapons. Based on what Oceana and I were able to discuss, there may be some other artifacts that have been dug up from the middle of nowhere in Prion. What Blackice wants with them, I'm not really certain, but I was hoping that before someone else arrives to intercept them, we might get the gang back together, maybe scoop up a couple things that are valuable, and then blow the place sky high.
That's an option. You don't think with those weapons, and then the elf destroying that balcony and everything, he couldn't be like trying to do Invasion Part 2.
Why would an elf destroy Cimmerian weapons?
No, the elf destroyed the balcony that killed that child that at the ball, the party that you and where you had the hot date.
Not if a conspicuous belted gentleman who were caught sneaking around the premises shortly before.
I can do that. I think I could do that.
I mean, the shipyards are rather his stomping grounds, aren't they?
A little, yeah. But I feel like he might be the possibility of war might still be on.
Oh, you're no fun anymore.
What? I'm fun. I'm hip. I'm with it.
Look, we can't let Blackice get his hands on these weapons. I feel like there's going to be, if it required that level of, I mean, there was a number of burly himbo sailors kind of bringing these ashore. I'm not sure that we're going to be able to inconspicuously cart them all out with just the 4 of us. It just feels safer to destroy them, because the alternative is letting Blackice get his hands on them, and whoever he's allied with as well.
Well,
so we have a decision to make.
Okay. Well, the warehouse is made of wood, so I can always,
And I have just the explosive dog.
Yeah. Well, you know me with lightning. So I've gotten better at not almost killing allies with that. But yeah, okay, let's do it. We should get to the others.
Let everybody know. Do you know that they're busy today, or no? Is everyone
I don't really
kind
know.
of booked up?
Kaz has been staying here. Well,
how is she
here
regarding her situation?
It's probably need to talk to her about that. She seemed okay, but
I actually think that as you go to talk about Kaz, I think I want to cut the scene there.
Okay.
And move the camera to Kaz. Kaz, are you heading straight to Masha C?
Straight away, especially after what just happened.
So you make it to the address that someone tells you. And outside the door, you hear a voice. Kazan, it is far too early to be calling on me. This better be an emergency.
Where are you? I hear you, but I don't see you. You know, someone said you'd do this.
And so the door swings open of its own accord. And inside it looks like the most stereotypical witch's shop you've ever seen. There's rows of items that look creepy and weird, and all sorts of disturbing imagery everywhere.
Love the vibe, love the vibe.
Yeah. And you see her come out from the back room. She's leaning heavily on a stick or a staff of some sort. And she sits at the counter and says, "Well, what brings you here?"
Well, Masha, I have a bit of a problem. It's quite dire, which is why I dared to come and bother you so early in the day, and I was hoping you could help me.
We'll see.
Right, so my hands can heal, and they don't do that anymore. They do the opposite.
Yes. I see that. You've received a blessing.
Maybe we have different perspectives on that, but I really don't like it at all.
So you wish for this blessing to be undone?
More than anything.
You are friends with Samhain, yes?
We know each other.
He told you how I operate?
I'll owe you a favor.
Yes. Your task is rather simpler than his was.
And that task is?
Well, to clear your curse, of course. That is something that I can do quite easily. Or relatively easily, I believe.
You can?
I can.
God, Masha, you're kind of incredible.
So I'll be needing that favor in advance.
What would you need of me?
I find myself in need of a body.
I'm sorry?
I said, I find myself in need of a body.
Like a living one, or are you looking for a corpse?
One that has been killed by your hands. From the Kava.
Why?
That is my price.
And you want this before you can help me?
It is something that will allow me to help you.
That is quite a steep price.
It is steep magic that you ask for, and rare.
So if I bring you what you're asking for,
Then I can remove your curse, as you shall call it.
and then I would still owe you a favor?
No,
So you also need this body for your own ends.
yes.
And I don't suppose you're going to give me any more information about why.
No.
It has to be a Kava.
Killed by your hands. Not your
Killed.
blade. Your hands.
Don't suppose you tell me why.
Things are moving. This is part of a ritual that will help me understand the ways in which the forces move.
I'll have to see what I can do, because the only Kava I know of that's here right now that would be no simple task.
Well, what you ask for is no simple spell. And I think that's where we're going to end tonight's episode,
Oh my god.
if that's okay. Because it's midnight on the East Coast, and I've got players and things like that, so let's call that a day.
I was
Okay.
trying to do one little thing.
I know you were. I'm sorry. There's just too much to get through in these episodes sometimes. It's too exciting, and there's too much awesome role-playing going on, and it takes time. Is it an errand, or is it a thing?
It was something that I wanted to have him just resolve to do to maybe do in the next scene or in the next session. No, he'd probably go ask someone anyway. Okay, never mind.
Okay, there we go. Cool. Let's dole out some experience points and some rewards. First of all, I don't care if you currently do not have inspiration. Obviously, you get inspiration.
Woo.
Like, everyone learned things about people today, obviously. So if
His
you don't have
mom turned into the moon.
mark inspiration on your character
She
sheet.
is the moon.
Kaz's mom is on the moon. I feel like that's going to become a meme for me for a little while. Kaz's mom is on the moon.
That's rough, buddy.
Okay. That's rough, buddy. That was brilliant. Okay. Did you learn something about Primarch Magli Blackice or his co-conspirators this episode?
I think so, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I think you learned a lot about how the world works. That isn't necessarily the same thing, but I'll take it. I think that's fair. We're learning about deeper lore. Okay. What's our next question? Did your race, species, class, or background come into play in this episode? Feel free to nominate people.
Yeah.
What are you nominating Kaz for?
Well, her background was all of it.
Her mom is on the moon.
Her mom is on the moon. She's a moon princess.
Okay, Kaz, you can take that that experience point. No problem.
Oh my gosh, does this get past Sailor Moon?
Yes. In the name of the moon, I will smite you.
You will now, too. You won't even have a choice about it.
Oh god.
Anyone want to nominate anyone else, including themselves?
I think Thomas, with trying to sort out how he's going to use the assassin that's been bequeathed to him by Oceana.
Yeah, I agree. That's affecting the plot. You've made decisions about that. That's pretty cool. I would say take that experience point.
Juniper's trying to invent / learn new spells or rituals or something. That is definitively wizard stuff.
100%. Creating magic is wizard stuff. Wizards create spells. Other people do not. It's awesome. Absolutely. And then anyone else got a nomination for Sawin?
Sawin learned a whole bunch from Algernon.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
reading too.
He did a reading for an
doing the reading for Algernon.
ancient.
That was pretty amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Take
I
that
love it.
experience point, please. Heck yeah. I loved it. Okay, and then let's see. Did you overcome a significant obstacle this episode? Kaz.
Did I overcome an obstacle? I don't think so, actually. No.
Yep, I agree. I feel like you're setting up to overcome the obstacle of the curse, but you have not
Oh
yet.
boy.
We'll see if you are. I don't know. Maybe I'll just live with it. Thomas, did you overcome an obstacle?
No, I was going to attempt to at least set up for that, but it'll have to happen next time.
Okay, sounds good. Samhain, did you overcome an obstacle?
I think I took a point for it last time by letting like Algernon in my home.
Oh yeah.
Did
Unless
you? I'm not. Okay, that was pretty big. I'm not against you taking it.
it was pretty big. You're gonna let me milk it for 2 sessions?
I am. I think I am.
There's been a lot of games where like Jess has been like, nah, I'm just gonna pass on all the experience that I could have taken from this thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna let you milk it for 2 sessions, Jess. This is a big deal. And like essentially you took a reading with him, and like by virtue of the power of the cards, you have now intertwined the two of your fates together.
Yeah.
You know? We'll call that a second obstacle. I'm not even gonna say that you're milking it. I'm gonna say that's a second obstacle that you overcame. You have like partnered with this dude that you hate.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I mean, he's got more firepower than I do.
And Juniper, did you overcome an obstacle this episode?
I don't know. Like, I think she learned a lot of things, and she did have to be honest with this person who she's just learning a whole lot about. But I feel like Juno's becoming the anti-secret keeper at this point. Like, she's just, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. Fair enough. And then last but not least, did you accomplish your belief? Let's go backwards this time. Juniper, did you accomplish your belief?
No, I think I should have done the other belief if I was going to accomplish that.
That's fair. That happens sometimes. And Samhain, did Samhain accomplish his belief?
Hell no.
Okay. And Thomas, Sarah, did Thomas accomplish his belief?
He actively worked towards it by working on the junior super weenie hut junior spy that they sent him.
Yeah, I think that's great. Take that point. And Kazan, Nia, did Kazan accomplish her belief?
Yeah.
Excellent. Then take that point. Guys, that was such a great session. I hope you all feel like you learned a lot about things.
So much.
My screen has been black for like 30 minutes. It was going in and out for a while.
Baby.
I am desperately sad. This is why we've been sharing a computer for all these months.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be acting right. Sorry.
No worries. Well, thank you, wonderful people, for watching. I hope that you who are watching enjoyed this as much as I did. I don't know if that's possible because I am having a ball of a time. But if you did, well, let us know and let your friends know because we're pretty cool. As always, please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and don't forget to wash your hands, please. And even though things might say that they're opening, there doesn't mean you should just immediately go there and crowd in with a lot of people. Seriously, this is still a thing. And of course, as always, do not forget, call your cat, feed your mom. Bye.
Don't y'all boil green tea.
Oh, God, no boiled green tea.
Please don't.